In an age of political polarization, ticket-splitting voters have been in decline for decades. In 2020, just 4% of congressional districts backed a congressman of a different party than the presidential candidate that carried that same district. It's this trend that makes the politics of North Carolina so confusing. The state's voters consistently opt for Democratic governors, Republican presidents, Democratic state legislators, and a mostly Republican congressional delegation, all at the same time. The ticket splitting occurs in North Carolina at differing frequencies depending on the election year. The tickets are most split during presidential election years, which is also when the governor is elected. That's because each party consistently wins one of these two elections, Democrats the governorship and Republicans the presidency. Since 1980, the Republican presidential candidate has carried North Carolina every time except 2008, when Barack Obama won it by less than 1%. Even the margin of victory is consistent. In 2/3 of those elections, the margin of victory was under 5%, including every election since 2008. During the same time period, the Democratic candidate for governor has won all but 3 times, 1984, 1988, and 2012. That means the gubernatorial election result has diverged from the concurrent presidential result in North Carolina in 75% of elections since 1980. In some of these years, ticket splitting has risen to high enough levels to create wildly disparate results in the two elections. Just last year, Donald Trump won by 3 points as the Democrat Josh Stein won the governorship by 15 points. In both 2000 and 2004, George W. Bush won by 13 points as the Democrat Mike Easley won the governorship by 6 points and 13 points respectively. In 1980, Ronald Reagan won by 2 points as the Democrat Jim Hunt won the governorship by 24 points. Ticket splitting between the presidential and gubernatorial elections in North Carolina has created differences of up to nearly 30 points between the results of each. When ticket splitting occurs in North Carolina, a noticeable pattern is that it is usually between a state and federal election. Just as the presidency almost always goes Republican, Senate and House elections in those same years follow suit. In the House, if we look at the popular vote results for each presidential election year, as opposed to who actually won districts, since that stat can be heavily influenced by partisan gerrymandering, only once since 1996 did ticket splitting create a difference of 10% or greater between presidential and House results. 2004, when George W. Bush won the state by 13 points, but Republicans won the House popular vote by only 3 points. 5 out of 8 times, the difference was under 5 points. When Senate elections lined up with a presidential election, the exact same thing happened. Only 1 year saw a difference of greater than 10 points, 1984, the year of Ronald Reagan's landslide victory, and 5 of 8 times the difference was under 5 points yet again. At the state level, just as the governor is almost always a Democrat, the state legislature has historically been dominated by Democrats as well. They enjoyed nearly uninterrupted control of both state legislative chambers from 1992 until 2010. Since 2010, Republicans have not lost control of either chamber, but that is largely due to a partisan gerrymander they drew the very same year. Prior to 2010, Republicans hadn't held control of both state legislative chambers for over 100 years. But why is ticket splitting so common, let alone with such distinct patterns? North Carolina's party registration is shockingly divided, with around a third each being Democrat, Republican, and Independent. Independent voters are more likely to vote based on their evaluation of individual candidates instead of those candidates' party affiliation, which is the root cause of ticket splitting in general across the country. It is also important to note that North Carolina's geographical position has historically placed it in the middle between the conservative South and liberal North ideologically. As for why Democrats routinely succeed at the state level and Republicans at the federal level, the prevailing theory is that North Carolina voters see the National Democratic Party as too left-wing, but are more supportive of local moderates. And it appears that none of this is likely to change anytime soon. Despite the incessant national speculation about when North Carolina will finally flip blue for president or senate, or the more local question of if Republicans will ever flip back the governorship and complete their governing trifecta, election results end up strikingly similar year after year. No presidential candidate has won North Carolina by more than 4 points since 2004, and Republicans have won by between 1 and 3 points in every election since 2012. Democrat candidates for governor often win by very similar margins to those Republicans, or an even larger one against particularly weak candidates. Thus, even as partisan division rages at a greater scale nearly everywhere else, the North Carolina ticket-splitting culture is alive and well.